Hi guys. So my coworker asked me if I knew who Charlie Kirk was, and I didn't. I was like, "Who's that?" And then she mentioned what happened, and that's a terrible thing. I look him up, and I still don't know. It just said something about Trump ally, and I don't follow politics. But then I saw some videos and I was like, oh, I do know this guy. Not his name, but I'd seen some videos of him answering uh, college student questions because apparently he would go around to thousands of campuses and had a stand called Prove Me Wrong. And people would come up and ask him questions. And he gave good answers to a lot of the atheists, and um, I found that he was, you know, humble. He was respectful. He wasn't rude, even when people, you know, come up with an opposing view. Not everyone can do that. Some people get heated and angry, but I think he was an example of what the verse of the day was today. Actually, it's in 1 Peter 3:15. It says, um, "Always be ready at any time to give a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you." And to continue, it says, "Yet do this with gentleness and respect, keeping a clear conscience, so that when you are accused, those who disparage your good conduct in Christ will be put to shame. For it is better to suffer for doing good, if that should be God's will, than for doing evil. For Christ also suffered for sins once for all, the righteous for the unrighteous, that he might bring you to God." All I saw was a man who wasn't afraid to talk to people and try to get them to share what he saw. He was trying to be a light in the world, share the love of Christ with people. Some people, maybe they got angry themselves, but I saw him being respectful and trying to, with gentleness and respect, share the truth. And I bet he touched a lot of lives out there. And even now, knowing that he wanted to be remembered for his courage to stand up and be bold in the faith, then people now that didn't know him, like me, we can be encouraged that he's with the Lord, and even though, what the enemy meant for evil, it can be used for good, and hopefully more hearts will see all the darkness around and turn to the light that's only found in Jesus. And it made me think of the passage in Isaiah 53 um, about Jesus, who, I don't know why there's people that are celebrating or mocking that a man was killed. It's not even that, oh, he was, I don't know, a serial killer or something. No, this was a family man, a regular man. It doesn't matter if you agree with the politics or not. Uh, I don't know about you, but in my family, there's Trump supporters and Trump haters, and the same with friends. And that doesn't mean that you don't love your family or your friends. So why would someone mock and celebrate that a man died and his family is suffering right now without their, husband, father, uncle. It just, I don't know. It made me think of Isaiah 53. So let me just read it. Who has believed what we have heard, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He didn't have an impressive form or majesty that we should look at him, no appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of suffering, who knew what sickness was. He was like someone people turned away from. He was despised, and we didn't value him. Yet he himself bore our sicknesses, and he carried our pains. But we in turn regarded him stricken, struck down by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced because of our rebellion, crushed because of our iniquities. Punishment for our peace was on him, and we were healed by his wounds. We all went astray like sheep. We all have turned to our own way, and the Lord has punished him for the iniquity of us all. He was punished and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. Like a lamb led to the slaughter, and like a sheep silent before her shearers, he did not open his mouth. He was taken away because of because of oppression and judgment. And who considered his fate? For he was cut off from the land of the living. He was struck because of my people's rebellion. He was assigned a grave with the wicked. But he was a rich man at his death, because he had done no violence, and had not spoken deceitfully. Yet the Lord was pleased to crush him severely. When you make him a guilt offering, he will see his seed, he will prolong his days, and by his hand the Lord's pleasure will be accomplished. After his anguish, he will see light, and be satisfied by his knowledge. My righteous servant will justify many, and he will carry their iniquities. Therefore I will give him the many as a portion, and he will receive the mighty as spoil, because he willingly submitted to death, and was counted among the rebels. Yet he bore the sin of many, and interceded for the rebels. So basically, it reminds me of this. Not that Charlie Kirk was extraordinary or a Jesus figure or anything like that. No one surpasses Jesus. It's just that Jesus died an innocent man crucified by people, just like this man. He didn't do any violence, and yet he was killed violently, just like Jesus. And yet, in the end, Jesus has the victory, because he turns many hearts towards him, and he did it all for us so that we could be in heaven with him, with God, so that we could know God. And that's all that Charlie Kirk was trying to do. Just trying to make more people come to Jesus willingly, of their own free will, their own heart. Show them the light and the truth and love. And yeah, he will be rejoicing with Jesus in the end, just like all of us. Even though what happened was a tragedy, I think a lot of good will come from this. And hopefully more people will stand up for Jesus.